all the gurus are wrong. Success is not about learning the next AI tool or getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go ripping a whole bunch of weights up and down and getting super strong and pumped before your day starts, or drinking hydrogen water, or all these other things that we get bombarded with every day. Hey, I'm John, your Mindset Moto guy, and I'm coming to you with your daily UpShift video. So, what am I talking about here? Why am I saying this? So, the idea here is it's you that's the key to success. Not all these tricks, not all these tools. Nothing's wrong with any of those tools. They're all valuable things to help you live in maybe a healthier body. I don't know about the hydrogen water thing, but that just was on my mind because I get bombarded with those every day on YouTube videos. But again, and yeah, there's lots of people making money with AI and all these things, but ultimately, nobody's doing nothing. We're not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing unless we work on us. We need to develop us before we learn all these tools. Learning new tools makes us feel good. We have new ideas. Everybody's being successful. The next great shiny thing, the new up and coming, earth-shattering technology, whatever it is, none of it makes a damn bit of difference unless you work on you. Your self-confidence, your way of being every day, all of that's the most important thing, because none of that, nothing else helps, nothing else matters unless you work on you for success first and foremost. So, I'm just tired of, I spent years looking at all those shiny objects and all those videos of how-tos and how to run successful funnels and businesses and grow my network, my network marketing company, all of it. And guess what? Every part of it can work for you if you're ready to work for it and utilize you. You are the secret, you're the key to the whole thing. Nobody else, nothing else. All the skills in the world are not going to be sustainable for long. You might get a little success right away, but ultimately you're not going to be happy, you're not going to grow, you're not going to be working towards a purpose. So even if you have some success, you might not be happy, you're not going to feel, excuse me, you're not going to feel fulfilled and all that stuff. And that's what we want. We want fulfillment. We want to feel like we have purpose in our lives. And, those are really important things. And again, all these different skills, all these techniques, all these atomic habits and all this stuff, they're wonderful. But none of it works unless you work on you and your self-confidence and getting rid of this mistaken identity that I've been talking about. What is it? It's the thing that's programmed you since the day you showed up here. Everybody's conditioned you to be a certain way, to meet some sort of certain agenda, and nobody took into account you. Very unlikely. If you're sitting watching this, nobody actually said, "Hey, Joe, hey, Mary, what do you think is the best thing, or what are you interested in, and what makes you happy?" It's a matter of, hey, you got to do this. And back in the 80s and 90s, it was like, hey, you need to get a 4-year degree, or you're never going to go anywhere in life. You're never going to be successful. You're never going to be happy unless you get all kinds of college in you and all kinds of other stuff. And turns out now, so many people went and got a liberal arts degree, and now they're doing something completely different, or they're unhappy, whereas my buddy, who everybody thought was doing goofy stuff, he started mowing lawns in high school and maybe middle school, and he had a lawn mowing and lawn care empire by the time he was in his early 20s, and was incredibly successful and was able to move away from getting out there in the heat and running the business, and did super successful. And there's tons of stories like that. People that, my dad always joked about a kid in school that was always the class clown when he was going to school, and he said the teachers always told him, "You're going to end up digging ditches for a living." He said, "What the lady never told me was how much money I'd make digging ditches." He said, does hard construction and all kinds of stuff, and had for now decades, and made a really good living and had all kinds of great stuff going on. So And now the trades are coming back in, and that's cool. But, we've all been told things that seem to meet a certain moment in time, and they've never considered you or me and what we actually were good at, wanted to do, had a passion about, whatever the case was. So, and those things are all destructive to our self-confidence and our identity, because they just really take us further and further away from who we actually are. And that's a big problem, because, we forget, we get lost. We feel like we're drifting at sea with no motor and no wind. And it's just so common, it's ridiculous. They're just, the default of so many people, more people than aren't, is really that way. And, honestly, some of those folks that created big, hands-on businesses and worked their butt off, they weren't necessarily happy either. And now they're still trying to figure this whole thing out, but they were able to just be successful enough that they can start to do that. So, having a lot of monetary success isn't necessarily the answer, because if you're not happy, it really doesn't help your cause. It just makes life easier, makes decisions easier to make, and you're not always worried about money. But doesn't mean you're happy just because you were successful. So don't get the two things mixed up. So the other thing, I'm just looking, I've not been down this road before, so interesting. So again, working on yourself, being selfless, okay? People think, it's selfish to work on themselves and not help other people. Well, if you work on yourself, you're going to be better for other people. So it's really a selfless act. It's important for you to do that, because it's a huge play into really making yourself and the people around you better. But you've got to step back, work on you, figure all out who you are and what your whole function is in this world and your true identity. And that's your mission, and then you'll be able to help and guide more people than you could ever dream possible. So, don't get caught in the short term and forget that you're playing a long game. You're going to be here for a long, long time. You have a lot of years ahead of you to make a huge difference in your life and the people around you and the people you've never even know existed yet. If you take some personal, selfish time to work on you, and again, I'm calling it selfish just because that's sort of the terminology we've all been brought up to be. Well, I'm working on my thing, and I'm going to kind of shut everything else off for a while. It's really a selfless act. It's really not selfish, but selfish is kind of the term that we've all grown up, thinking that not being a people pleaser is selfish. Well, maybe it is, but maybe we need to be selfish for a little while and stop being a people pleaser and be a self pleaser. And that sounded terrible. But we need to get ourselves on the right track. We need to be happy. We need to be, encouraging to ourselves, do all the things that we are for other people. We lift them up, we cheer them on, we send them messages. Do that for yourself. Send yourself a nice text message in the morning. Write yourself a note, high five yourself in the mirror like Mel Robbins says when you get up in the morning, and tell yourself, great job, you got up and you're starting your day. I don't know, figure out your thing, but figure out working with you. And if you want to work on this more, I would love to talk to you about it. Leave me a comment, reach out to me. If you just search UpShift Your Life or Mindset Moto Guy on social media, you'll find me, and I would love nothing more than to share with you what's been shared with me over the last few years that's really helped me to go above and beyond to where I ever thought I could be, and you have that in you as well. So with that, hope you ride well, ride often, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Ciao.